Snooping as usual, I see.
What's good, people? Agent Jules reporting for duty. So, I just got back from watching Sonic, and I kind of wanted to talk about it real quick because it's, the hot topic, and I ended up enjoying the movie a lot more than I thought I would. I actually saw it with Dracona the Wolf over the weekend, and yeah, we both had a great old time watching it, strangely enough. So, I decided to quickly do a nice speed paint of the Eggman himself, Dr. Ivo Robotnik, and kind of discuss my thoughts on the movie. I'm going to try to do kind of a spoiler-free version, and then later on the spoiler version, and I'll put up warnings about it, blah, blah, the usual shtick. You've seen movie review videos before, so I think you guys kind of know how this works. So, go ahead, buckle in, get them running shoes on, go ahead and slap that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let us talk the Blue Devil. So, really quickly before getting into everything, a little housekeeping thing. This video that I'm making is kind of impromptu. I originally planned on doing a couple more videos with the BoJack Horseman OC that I made, Lysandra Moriarty. But I wanted to talk about this movie because, like I said, it's the hot topic and I'm kind of enjoying it. But next video you're going to see is a continuation on the BoJack OC stuff. So if the order of videos kind of looks weird for you people who watch everything, that's kind of the explanation. I didn't really plan my cube that well, so that's how it is. Sometimes you gotta pay the consequences for your actions. So, TLDR, as I mentioned before, I enjoyed the movie. It was better than I expected. Now, I wasn't expecting a dumpster fire, nor was I completely blown out of the water, and I'm going to sing this movie's praises to the rooftops. It's not a massively good movie. It's fun. That's what it is. Over anything else, it is just fun. And the reason why it seems so fun is because it understood what it was and did not take itself too seriously. Another thing that I really liked that kind of pleasantly surprised me is their portrayal of Sonic himself. The thing about Sonic is that he's always been seen as like, oh yeah, I'm a radical dude, I'm so cool, gotta go fast. And of course he has his cocky nature in this movie, but he has another layer to him that I've never really seen before portrayed in Sonic media. And I really enjoyed seeing more of Sonic and really kind of delving into his psyche and everything. And of course the final reason is because they redesigned him. Like his old design was hideous. It was a meme. And the studio listened to the feedback, changed his design, and so I feel like I need to incentivize that behavior and give them money to see this movie so that studios in the future can see that and go, oh, listening to fan feedback and improving upon our work is a good thing. Before I can get further into analyzing the movie, I want to give you guys a brief history of my relationship with Sonic. I kind of grew up with Sonic. My first exposure was the Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon, the zany one, the one where the snooping as usual I see comes from. It's, that was my first exposure to it. And I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, cool, Sonic. And of course, next came the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, where it started getting super serious, where Robotnik is a dictator and he's taking over the world, and Sonic is a freedom fighter, and they introduce a whole bunch of new characters like Princess Sally and the Walrus guy and Antoine and all that stuff. And that was also kind of like, oh, cool, yeah, really, that's cool. I never loved Sonic. I never hated Sonic, but I never loved it. It was not as big of an obsession as some of the other things I've talked about on this channel. And so the last Sonic piece of media that I ever consumed as a sorta Sonic fan was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which of course introduced Rouge the Bat, which was a character that drew my interests for reasons. And after that, I guess I was kind of done with Sonic. I moved on. There were other things that were coming out that I felt were cooler. And so I kind of left Sonic behind. It didn't like anger me going like, oh, I'm never going to consume Sonic again. I just decided, yeah, I'm kind of done. And around the time I quit, around Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was the time where the cringy Sonic fan base as we know it today kind of really first started to come to fruition, at least online. And so I witnessed this birth of this cringy Sonic fandom of people who were taking it super seriously, and how all the games and the other media was starting to make Sonic super mature and serious, and introducing Shadow the Hedgehog and Cold Steel and Sonic insert characters who were like super edgy and like OP, Mary Sue kind of stuff. And I watched this thing happen, and I laughed. Oh ho, those funny weirdos making their funny weird stuff. And of course, I was doing the same thing, but I wasn't being like, I wasn't airing my dirty laundry, so to speak. So I managed to escape. Super cringe because I didn't, show too much of it. Being a Sonic fan was kind of a pejorative for a long time, like damn near a decade, I'd say. Or probably even over a decade, now I'm really thinking about it. But anyway, I didn't get back into Sonic until very, very recently. It wasn't the film that got me back into it. It was actually just for the heck of it. I decided to watch the series Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom, the cartoon, is funnier than it has any right to be.
I've been meaning to read that book. How is it?
Not as bad as the movie. Studios should stop recycling the same tired old properties and make something original for once.
It is shockingly refreshing and hilarious. And I think that is the key as to what I really liked about not only Sonic Boom, but this new Sonic movie, is that it didn't take itself seriously. Okay, let's go ahead and talk some spoilers now. So, spoiler warning, I'm going to talk about the movie. Here's your warning. As long as I talk about spoilers, I'm going to have a little spoiler tag up so you guys know and you won't wah at me because, it'll be your fault. The movie begins with Sonic's childhood where he grew up on a different planet, which we presume is Mobius, under the watchful eye of this wise owl woman named Longclaw. Like, she's literally an anthropomorphic owl. She's not even a Sonic Mobius looking like owl. She's like literally an owl with like owl anatomy and everything. So anyway, Longclaw is watching over Sonic and raises him and basically tells Sonic, Sonic, you have a special gift. Your super speed is special, and there will always be bad people who are going to try to capture you and exploit your power. So hide. Don't show up. It's that conceal, don't feel shtick from Frozen. Anyway, a bunch of Echidna tribal warriors storm the huts that Longclaw and Sonic live in, and so it's that tragic of like, oh, my village got burnt down, so I need to run away. So like Longclaw gets jumped by these Echidna warriors, and so she says like, take this bag of rings. And so the rings in this movie are teleportation devices. You basically throw them out, and like a Doctor Strange sling ring thing, you open a portal to somewhere else. And so you can basically travel across the universe. So she says like, go to Earth. It's on the other side of the universe. You'll be safe there. So he goes to Earth with his bag of rings. And the idea is that he needs to jump universe. He needs to jump every time he's found out. So he's always on the move. He's always traveling with his bag of teleportation rings. And of course, the Echidnas descend upon Longclaw. Tragic death is presumed. So Sonic grows up on Earth, hiding out in this small town, which is called Green Hills. And so that's where we meet James Marsden's character, the cop. His name is Tom or something. And so his story is like, oh, I'm a small-time cop. And he's a nice guy, he helps, kittens out of the tree, and, he helps wildlife and all that stuff. But of course, he has bigger ambitions. He wants to be a real cop. He wants to go to San Francisco with his wife and help real people in real danger and all that stuff. So that's his shtick. Sonic is now hiding out in Green Hills and just spying on people because he really wants a relationship, and that's what I was talking about with Sonic's different part of his personality that really fleshed out, is that he's lonely. He has to hide because that's what he was told, but he really wants to hang out with these people, so he spies on them. He gets pop culture and human culture by spying on the small town. So, he's really into comics, he loves movies, he loves quoting movies because he kind of spies on people. And he really loves Tom the cop and his wife. I can't remember the wife's name. But he especially spies on them because Tom is like the protector of this town, so he looks up to Tom because he's like the sheriff, basically. So Sonic blows his cover at some point by running really fast, and he sends out an electromagnetic pulse. The government picks up on it, and so that's when we're introduced to Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik. So he's sent to check the anomaly, and Jim Carrey's wackadoodle wild energy works so well for Robotnik because it really shows Robotnik as this arrogant, weird, maniacal super genius, and it just worked. It was a zany idea, and I really love how it just meshed so nicely. So, of course, because Robotnik is after Sonic and Tom the cop meet up, and so it's a buddy movie of like trying to rescue Sonic from the clutches of Robotnik, because Robotnik will harness Sonic's superpower and, you know, rule the world, or be, because it's shown that Robotnik, even though he technically works for the government, he's very megalomaniacal. You know, he very much hates people, and he's very much one of those people who are like, you know, people are inferior, machines are superior because they always follow directions and they never make mistakes. So you can see the beginnings of a dictator within Dr. Robotnik. And of course, you know, from then on, you kind of get the idea of where the movie's going to go. I'm not going to spoil the end for you so you can actually watch it, but that's kind of the gist of what happened. So, with all of that said, ultimately, that is what I enjoyed about what they did with this movie, is that they did not take it seriously. This movie, along with Sonic Boom, really doesn't take its characters too seriously and allows them different angles to kind of poke fun at themselves. And because of that, they're allowed to have more personality. You know, all the characters are allowed to kind of step outside of their boxes a little more. You know what it's like actually watching this movie? The reason why I love it so much is because there's a catharsis watching it. And this is where the catharsis is coming from. For the longest time, the Sonic fandom was known as the cringy fandom. Sonic was known as a cringy story. And the reason why is because it was edgy and dark and mature, and it was try hard. It was trying too hard. And it really feels like that person or that character in a story who is a loser, and they really want to be seen as cool, and so what they do is they change themselves, right? They try too hard. They make themselves more edgy or more cool or more mysterious than they actually are. And for the longest time, I myself have been seeing the Sonic fandom be that way. But finally, Sonic Boom and the Sonic movie felt like the moments where someone went up to Sonic and said, "You don't need to pretend. You don't need to be someone you're not. You're not edgy. You're not dark. You're not mysterious. You're fun. You're goofy. You know, yeah, you think you're a radical dude and everything, and running real fast and doing all those stunts is pretty cool, but you're a goof. You're fun. You know, you're kind of lighthearted. So there's no need to pretend anymore. Be yourself." And then finally Sonic said, "Okay, I'm going to drop the facade. I'm going to stop pretending to be edgy and mature. I'm going to be myself." And then we get Sonic Boom, the TV show. We get the movie. And for the first time in forever, I feel like I love Sonic again. You know, I love Sonic probably more than I've ever loved him before, even in my early childhood when I was into him. I'm into Sonic more now than I ever was, because I'm seeing Sonic be himself again and evolving that sense of self and improving upon it. So now I can't wait for the sequel, and they did tease a sequel at the end of the movie, and I would love to see it. It's not a magnum opus. It's not like a great cinema. Don't go into this movie thinking you're going to see something great. It's fun, and I'm glad to see Sonic have fun again. I'm glad that Sonic has a resurgence and he's being himself, and I hope he stays himself moving forward and evolves upon himself, not upon a facade, but upon his core character of just being goofy. Anyway, with that said, I think I'll go ahead and wrap up this impromptu review for today. So, if you like what you see and you want to see more, go ahead and hit those sacred YouTube buttons. You know, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you always stay on the up and up of the things that I upload. In addition, go ahead and comment below. You know, let me know your thoughts if you've seen the movie, or if you haven't and you want to see it and you went through the spoiler section of this video. If you have any thoughts on that, just go ahead and have a chat. You know, I try to answer as many comments as I can. I love hearing from you. And of course, go ahead and share the video. It's always good for the channel, and you know, it's good to share your passions with other people. I'm not one of the weird things that you look up online, so you don't have to be ashamed of watching my content. And of course, if you want to follow me elsewhere on the internet, go ahead and hit up my social media links in the description box down below as per usual. And with all that said, I thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you all stick around. And until next time, deuces as usual, I see.